Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today I just finished watching episode 14 of The Bad Batch. There's going to be a full spoiler review, so go ahead and go watch the episode first, and then come on back here. Wow, okay. So after last week's, I'll say somewhat lackluster episode, I'm sure that episode was like setting stuff up for the future, but as of right now, last week's episode was just kind of very meh, very forgettable, not very eventful as far as like the bigger picture is concerned. But this week really brought it. And to be honest, I was growing a little concerned that like the end of this season, with only these last 3 episodes, I was kind of growing concerned. I was like, are we gonna have a build up to a finale, or is it just gonna end? But yeah, we're definitely getting that build up now. This was pretty awesome. This was, in fact, I would say right up next to probably the first episode, this might be my favorite episode. The show's had a lot of great moments, but like as far as like full episodes, they've been a little mixed. This episode I think was genuinely really damn great. Okay, so we start off on Kamino, I think. Well, we start off with a trooper running away, but anyways, a trooper runs away, gets captured. It's all mysterious. We'll find out about that in a second. Then we go to Kamino, and I love it when we go to Kamino because it's always like just this really awesome like these power plays between Kamino and the Empire and Admiral Rampart and what's his name? Again, the Kaminoan names I'm not so great with remembering, but the governor of Kamino, the guy, the senator in charge of that place. Anyways, so basically what's happening is he's like, okay, he's talking to Lama Su, the doctor, the one that betrayed the other Kaminoans and is secretly trying to help Omega, seemingly. Anyways, he talks to her and basically says like, hey, the Empire has canceled our contracts, which right away is major. So that they've done it. They have officially canceled the Kaminoan contracts, and they're like, well, I mean, we'll find other clients. Like, people know how successful our clones were, right? Like, other people are gonna want to hire us. And he makes the very smart, obvious statement here, where he's like, the Empire's not like the Republic. They're not gonna want to let us just go and make other people armies, because then they'll have rivals, then they'll have other people in the galaxy that have a clone army, and that's, the Empire's not going to let that happen. So they're probably going to try and terminate us. So we need to get all the necessary staff, right? Which right away is kind of messed up. It's not like, oh, get all the Kaminoans. It's like, no, just get the necessary ones. And basically they're gonna run away. They're gonna try and like survive by leaving as quietly as possible. And we'll come back to Kamino later in the episode, but this is already like, okay, it's happening. Whatever sort of, people want this Kaminoan uprising to be a thing. It's definitely still like an open window that like, okay, it feels, they even show these very young clones, these clones that were like the age of Boba at this point, and they're all like, oh, we'll still be soldiers, right? And Lama Su's like, yes, you're gonna be soldiers, that's why you were made, but it's like, now it's kind of like, okay, but soldiers for who? Are they gonna like press a button and be like, okay, you're fighting for Kamino now, against the Empire? And I guess that's my thing, is that like something's gotta happen to these clone children, right? Because they're not going to be adults for a while, and the Kamino does not have, the contracts are already over. What happens to these clone kids? I'm kind of concerned about that, to be honest with you. I'm like, oh no, is the Empire going to wipe out these clone children? Because like they're not going to use them. I'm very concerned, to be honest with you. Anyways, and that's kind of like a running thing, is that like this whole transition played a major part in this episode. So we go back to the Bad Batch, and Rex basically contacts them and says, hey, I got an emergency beacon from a clone trooper, and I don't have enough time to talk, but I just need you guys to try and look into this, try and help out. And then he cuts away. So I don't know what Rex is doing. He's doing his own missions somewhere. Maybe one day we'll get those stories as to like what he's been doing this whole time. Supposedly, I have to assume that Rex has been, I don't know, maybe with Ahsoka or maybe with Saw Gerrera or somebody. Rex has been doing something, some kind of rebellious stuff. We just haven't heard about it, but he's clearly busy. So they have to go to this planet. I don't remember the name of it, but it was supposed to be abandoned. And so they go there and they find the beacon that the trooper we saw running away at the beginning of the episode left. And it leads them to this mountain, which they're like, oh, there's a facility here. All our stuff is being jammed. So they sneak in there, and what they notice is that, like, oh, hey, all the codes are new. And this base is mentioning, there's a bunch of commandos here, a bunch of, commando troopers, and a bunch of TK troopers. And they're like, TK? What is TK? Like, that's new, right? So we're getting our first stormtrooper designations here. And even the inside of this building, it's like, I think they might have just stepped into the first Imperial facility. And what I mean by that is like a facility that was built from the ground up post-Republic. Like we're now the Empire, and this might be the first facility that like did not exist before a couple months ago, and they just built it. So the whole inside of this place and all of their systems, all of their computers are all like fully Empire now. And we get a glimpse at some of these troopers here that they're going to be fighting in a minute. And they're all very much stormtroopers. They, some of the helmets, they have like a bit of the front of the forehead thing is a little bit different. I think it's like early concept art for the stormtroopers, but it's very clearly stormtrooper armor now. So here we are. We've done it. We have stormtroopers, the very first set of stormtroopers. Now, I kind of considered the people that Crosshair was training to be semi stormtroopers, but now it's like fully like, no, these are TK soldiers. They got the armor. Here they are. But anyways, they find Gregor. It turns out it was Gregor who was running away from this place, and he says he was brought here to train these soldiers, these stormtroopers. But he decided that I don't want to do this, which again kind of brings into question the whole Order 66 thing, because they're kind of giving us a mixed message with this show as to how Order 66 works, because it's not just kill the Jedi. That's not what Order 66 is completely. It's also, it kind of brings them into this more compliant, almost droid like state. We saw that with Wrecker when his chip activated. He fully turned into like a bad guy who was very Terminator-esque, and he's like, you people are traitors, you will all die. He's but as we saw with like Hauser, and now apparently Gregor, they can kind of just decide, you know what, I don't want to do this. Which, I'm still kind of questioning like what's happening here with the chip. Is this, because you showed the chip working one way, and now they can just decide later to not do it. So I don't know if it wears off or just some clones are lucky and they just keep their individuality, but I don't know. In any case, Gregor tried to escape. He got captured, and he basically explains like, yeah, these people are all replacements, and they stun one and they take the helmet off. It's like, oh, it's just a dude. And basically he's like, yeah, what the Empire wants is numbers. Like these people are all from around the galaxy. There's an unlimited supply of new troopers. They're not as skilled as us, but they'll never run out of stormtroopers, which is obviously the idea. Plus, as I've theorized, is that at any moment the Kaminoans could probably flip a switch and have the clone troopers under their command. I have to imagine there's some kind of, I don't know, backup protocol that would make them like, loyal to Kamino, like in some sort of base command, like at the very center of their brain. Or at least, if Kamino was smart, that would be the case. But I don't know, maybe they're just not smart enough to have that sort of like backup protocol just in case someone tries to use their own troops against them. But who knows? I still theorize that might be how the Kaminoan uprising really starts. But in any case, so they basically have this really awesome sequence where they're running out of here and they get stopped by a couple commandos. Some of them are from the Republic Commando game, which I tried to play. I found it to be it was a little bit more difficult than my liking. Some people like those really difficult games. I was like, this is just getting kind of tedious for me. But in any case, a couple of those guys make appearances. You'll see the one in the yellow armor, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's the guy from the game, which I think they've shown up in Clone Wars before. So, the game is not canon, but the characters are, and I'm sure in some way or another the stories are canon-ish. But in any case, it was cool because they would show like the commandos are, they're actually able to run in and try to fight the Bad Batch for a minute, and they kind of hold their own until there's 4, 5 of them, and only one commando at a time. But it does kind of show like, okay, these commandos are not normal clone troopers. They're actually able to like get in a fight with the Bad Batch and kind of hold their own kind of thing. It was pretty cool actually. But yeah, they have a pretty exciting getaway sequence, and then Hunter falls. They're all trying to get on the ship, and Hunter falls, and they can't go back for him because they have all the V-Wings, which of course are the precursors to the TIE Fighters. They even like make the TIE Fighter sound effects. I remember watching Revenge of the Sith and seeing the V-Wings for the first time at the very, very end of the movie, and I was like, wait, what? Those are those TIE Fighters or not? And I had to like go look it up. But anyways, so Hunter falls and he's on the ground. He's surrounded. He orders them to leave, and he's captured now. And then he meets Crosshair at the end. Crosshair shows up, of course. And my thing is, like, they end the episode, Crosshair's like, I kind of wanted the whole squad, but you'll do. Part of me is thinking that, okay, is it going to be revealed at the beginning of next episode that, oh, Crosshair is a good guy and he's just been playing the part for a little while, and he was just kind of waiting to be alone with his squad? I don't know. Part of me is like, it's gonna be like a reveal that like, okay, now I can help you escape and we got to get out of here or something like that. Or no, or maybe that's just hopeful thinking that Crosshair will be saved, and no, he's just a straight up bad guy and he's just evil now. In any case, this is gonna be the end of season 1. We have 2 more episodes left, and this would be the moment when they kill off one of the members. I think it's going to end up being Wrecker, who, by the way, Wrecker was really funny in this episode. At the very beginning, when they're trying to like decide what to do, he's like, well, Tech's got a point. Well, Hunter's got a point. Well, the kid's got a point. And like he just kept on flipping to like whoever said the next thing. He's like, yeah, you got a point. So Wrecker was actually pretty funny, but I can imagine him being the one that gets killed off because I actually care about the character now, so it would make sense for that to be the way it happens. But yeah, Hunter's captured, the crew's out of there, and then we go back to Kamino, and very interesting stuff happens here. So basically, somehow they found out that Lama Su, again, I hope I'm saying the right Kaminoan's name, the doctor, they found out that she was trying to get the necessary staff out of there and trying to leave Kamino. I don't know how they found this out. I don't know if they just like followed her and tracked their conversation or what happened, but somehow they found this out. And they basically have her, I think they have her in handcuffs, but they have her captured, and they go up to like the leader of the Kaminoans, and he basically says like, oh, okay, I'll make sure she gets punished for trying to escape. I didn't know anything about this, trying to play it off a little. But then Admiral Rampart's like, well, we have use for a scientist who like knows about all the cloning and how this all works. We don't have use for a politician. And then what we see, okay, they take Lama Su out of there, and they have a couple troopers left with whatever his name is, the main Kaminoan, and then the door's closed. We don't hear blaster shots or anything like that, but it's greatly implied that they're gonna kill him. So I don't know. I feel like he's still gonna be alive next episode. And again, my theory is that like they have some super secret code where they can like activate they can activate the clone troopers to be on their side immediately. Now there's going to be this big war between the clone troopers and these, the stormtroopers. I don't know. That's still my theory. I don't know if that's actually going to be how it plays out, but yeah, very exciting stuff. And now it finally feels like we are reaching the end. We got 2 episodes left, and I don't know how this is going to happen, because the crew, they got to find a way to save Hunter. I'm assuming that Hunter, when they show him in his cell, I'm assuming he's still in that same facility. It looks like the same cell that they had Gregor in. So I don't know. We'll have to see how this all plays out. I have to imagine, because we know, of course, that Gregor ends up with Rex and Wolf and someone else. Was someone else there? In Rebels. So, we know that they're gonna all get together and live. We don't know what happens to the Bad Batch. And I have to assume they're gonna try and save Hunter. So I don't know. I don't know how this is all gonna come together, but it's all very, very exciting. I hope that we do see the Kaminoan uprising in some form. I have a feeling it's not going to be quite as simple as a lot of people think it's going to be, where they just because they don't have, the most that they have right now is like the not fully trained clones. They like the children clones. Like that's the most they have, probably still under their influence. So there's got to be something that they're doing here. They got to have some further plan, because right now their plan was to just run away, which is like, what? I don't know. Very interesting stuff. Anyways, so yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know your theories as to how this is all gonna come together. Is Crosshair gonna be revealed to be like, okay, I was actually good for like the last couple episodes, ever since my face got all burned up, I was actually good, and I've been playing the part because I'm trying to like find a way to stop all this, or no, he's just a bad guy. I don't know. I got a lot of theories coming out about this, but anyways, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.